You're the one everyone calls when things fall apart. You're the voice that calms people down at 3 in the morning. You are the shoulder that never says no. You listen to their problems, carry their pain, absorb their chaos, and somehow still show up the next day like nothing happened. But here's the question no one ever asks you. Who saves you? When you are the one drowning, when the weight becomes too much, when the smile you've been performing all day finally cracks behind closed doors, who is there for you? The answer, for most of you watching this, is no one. And that silence, that emptiness, that invisible loneliness of being surrounded by people who need you but never truly see you, that is the price of being the strong one. If you have ever felt alone in a room full of people who love you, this video is for you. Being the strong one sounds like a compliment. People admire your resilience. They praise your ability to handle pressure. They tell you how much they need you. But what they don't realize is that every time they lean on you, they're adding another brick to a wall you've been building since childhood. A wall that hides the truth, that you are exhausted, that you are hurting, that you have been carrying so much for so long that you've forgotten what it feels like to put the weight down. Psychologists call this the strong friend syndrome. It is a pattern where one person in a group consistently takes on the role of the emotional caretaker. They suppress their own needs to prioritize others. They minimize their own pain because they have been conditioned to believe that their value lies in their usefulness. And the cruel irony is this: the more you save others, the less they think you need saving. Your strength becomes a prison. People stop asking how you are because you always seem fine. They stop checking on you because you never complain. They stop offering help because you never ask for it. And slowly, without anyone noticing, you begin to disappear behind the very role you created to protect them. There's a term in psychology called emotional labor. It was originally used to describe the effort of managing your emotions in professional settings. But in personal relationships, emotional labor takes on a different, darker meaning. It is the invisible work of regulating other people's emotions. It is listening when you want to scream. It is being patient when you're breaking. It is holding space for someone else's pain while your own pain sits in the corner, ignored. The weight of emotional labor is not visible. You cannot see it on someone's face. You cannot measure it in hours. But over time, it accumulates. It builds pressure. It creates a kind of emotional debt that never gets repaid. Because the people who benefit from your emotional labor rarely recognize it. They don't see the energy it takes for you to be their anchor. They don't understand that every conversation where you absorb their anxiety costs you something. They take your steadiness for granted, as if it is something that comes naturally, as if it costs you nothing. But it costs you everything. It costs you your sleep, your peace, your ability to feel your own emotions without guilt. And eventually, if the debt grows large enough, it costs you yourself. If you are the person everyone relies on, you have probably mastered the art of hiding. You hide behind humor, behind productivity, behind being busy, behind a phrase "I'm fine." But why? Why do you refuse to let people see you struggle? For most people, the answer goes back to one core belief. If I show weakness, I will be abandoned. This belief doesn't come from nowhere. It was planted in you, often in childhood, by a parent who couldn't handle your emotions, by a family that praised you for being tough and punished you for being vulnerable, by a culture that told you that strong people don't cry, don't complain, don't need anything from anyone. And so you learned. You learned to swallow your tears. You learned to turn your pain into fuel instead of asking for help. You learned that the safest way to be loved was to be needed, and the fastest way to be rejected was to be needy. But here's the truth that no one told you. Vulnerability is not weakness. Asking for help is not a burden. And the people who truly love you want to see the real you, not just the version of you that carries everything without flinching. The mask you wear to protect them is the same mask that is suffocating you. If you trace this pattern back far enough, you will almost always find a child who had to grow up too fast. Maybe you were the eldest sibling who had to take care of everyone else. Maybe your parents were going through something, a divorce, addiction, depression, and you became the emotional support they needed. Maybe you were the child who learned to read the room before you could read a book. You noticed when your mother was upset before she said a word. You knew when your father was angry just by the sound of his footsteps. And you adjusted. You became small when they needed space. You became cheerful when they needed comfort. You became invisible when they needed peace. Psychologists call this parentification. It is when a child is forced to take on the emotional responsibilities of an adult. And while it may have earned you praise for being mature, responsible, wise beyond your years, it also robbed you of something essential. It robbed you of the right to be taken care of, to be fragile, to be a child. And now, as an adult, you are replaying that same pattern with everyone you love. You're still the one adjusting, still the one absorbing, still the one making sure everyone else is okay while quietly falling apart. The breaking point never looks the way you expect. It is not dramatic. It is not loud. It is not a single catastrophic event. It is quiet. It is the morning you wake up and realize you have nothing left to give. The moment you pick up the phone and see their name and feel nothing but exhaustion. The night you sit alone in your car in the driveway, unable to move because going inside means performing again. The breaking point is when the machine that has been running for everyone else finally runs out of fuel. And here is what makes it so dangerous. No one sees it coming. Because you've been so good at hiding, so consistent in your performance, that when you finally break, people are shocked. They say they had no idea. They say you seem fine. And that, more than anything, is what hurts the most. Not that you broke, but that no one noticed you were breaking. The truth is you were sending signals for years. The canceled plans, the shorter texts, the hollow laugh, the way you stopped sharing your own problems. But no one was looking because you taught them not to. Letting yourself be helped is one of the hardest things you will ever do. Not because help isn't available, but because accepting it means admitting something you spent your entire life denying. That you're not invincible. That you cannot do this alone. That the person who saves everyone also needs to be saved. Start small. You don't have to unravel everything at once. The next time someone asks how you are, try telling the truth. Not the whole truth. Just a crack in the door. Enough to let light in. Say, actually, I've been struggling. Say, I don't know how to ask for this, but I need support. Say, I'm tired. And watch what happens. Some people will step up in ways you never expected. Others will disappear. And both of those responses are valuable. Because the people who leave when you show vulnerability were never really there for you. They were there for what you could do for them. And the people who stay, who sit with you in the mess without trying to fix you, those are the ones who actually see you. Not the mask, not the role. You do not have to carry everyone. You do not have to be the strongest person in every room. You do not have to absorb every crisis, solve every problem, and hold every broken person together while your own pieces scatter on the floor. You're allowed to put the weight down. You're allowed to say, I can't right now. You are allowed to choose yourself without guilt, without apology, without explanation. The world will not collapse if you stop holding it up. The people who love you will not leave if you show them you're human. And if they do, they were never carrying you. They were only ever being carried. So tonight, if you're sitting somewhere feeling the heaviness of everyone else's world on your shoulders, I want you to hear this. You have done enough. You have given enough. You have been strong enough. Now it's your turn to be held. If this video made you feel seen, subscribe to Nightveil Psychology. We explore the darkest corners of human emotion so you never have to sit in them alone. Take care of yourself, because you matter too.